Hi everybody, it's Keren here from tuppencecoloured.co.uk and thank you very much for joining me today. I posted a picture of this on social media just before I went away to on stage, which was in Telford. I just made this little basket just to carry my swaps in, and it got an awful lot of attention. People said, oh, that is really pretty. So I thought today I'd make a short video showing you how I made it. Now this version is in powder pink and the smoky slate gingham ribbon. I'm going to make one today in a different colour combination, and at the end of it I'll bring them both together and you can see which one you like best. So stay with me and I'll show you how. This is what my little basket was based on. It's a fruit punnet, and you get it for free when you buy fruit. This, I think, had grapes in it. That would be likely because we do like grapes in our house. So I've got some of that. I've got a strip of, in this case, lemon lime twist. The one I made originally was in powder pink, but I thought this time I'd have a bit of a zingier colourway. Now, I'm going to cut this down so that it is 1.5 inches wide. I'm going to keep the full length for the time being, and I'll trim it to the size I want it when I'm ready to put it onto my basket. For a fruit basket of this size, I know that I'm going to need a sheet and a half of my DSP, and again this is from the Fresh Florals and it's in lemon lime twist. And I've got some ribbon to trim it with. In this case it's the Night of Navy corduroy ribbon from the Spring Summer catalogue. So those are the essential things that I'm going to use to trim my basket. I'm going to begin by moving that out of the way. I'm going to begin by scoring the entire length of I'm going to begin by scoring the entire length of my my piece of 12 by 12 DSP. I've got my embossing stylus and I'm using the thick end, and I'm just going to lubricate it a little bit in this tea light. Just gives it a little bit of extra glide, and I'm doing that because I've had this paper in storage for quite a while and it may have dried out a bit. So I am going to start at 1/2 inch and I'm going to score right the way, and then I'm scoring at 1.5 inches, then at 2, and then at 3, 3.5, 4.5, 5, and 6, 6.5, 7.5, 8.5, sorry, 8, not 8.5, and 9. Then 9.5, 10.5, 11, and the last one is 12. Okay, so I'm going to repeat that on the other piece, but I'm going to cut this down to 6 inches before I start because I don't expect to use all of this sheet of paper. Before I started, I measured my punnet, and I measured it from just below this little lip here to this little lip here, and it's 3 inches. Alright, so that's how wide I'm going to cut my strips. So I've got this into my Stampin' Trimmer, and I'm just going to line that up to the 3-inch mark. Let's get the scoring blade out of the way, and I'm going to trim down all of this piece into 3-inch strips. Before I start concertinaing anything up, I'm going to, that was 3.5, that was nearly a disaster. Were you shouting at me? Were you? Are you shouting? No! Don't do it! That's wrong! See, I heard you. Okay, and again. So I now have 4 3-inch strips. And I have my other piece here. Make sure it's the piece that I've scored. And I'm going to cut this into 2 because I cut this to 6 inches wide. Make sure that that's nice and square and trim. So the next thing I'm going to start doing is concertinaing these pieces, and I'm just going to fold them backwards and forwards, just like that, to make pleats. Alright, that's going to take me a little bit of time, so I'm going to stop the camera here and I'm going to go away and do that, and then I'll come back when I've got them all finished. And now I've got my 6 strips of paper. Here are my 6 strips of paper, all pleated up, and I'm going to start by joining these 2 pieces together like this. So I'm taking this short piece and this long piece, and I'm putting them over the top of this short piece and this long piece, and I'm just going to fold that over, come in with a stapler, and I'm trying to keep as close to the top pretty much as I can, and just join those together. And then I'm going to do the same at this end. And same at this end. I'm going to do 3 of these to begin with. So I'm going to join 3 of these together, and then I'll join the other 3, and we will put all of those together. But now I'm going to leave this piece free because I'm going to want that to join up onto the next piece. I'm just going to fold my pleats and staple them in place. And again, this is going to take a little bit of time, so I'll just stop the camera, and then I shall carry on doing this, and then I shall come back to you when they're all done. And this is what I've got after I've stapled all of those pleats together. Now, as you can see, it's got a bit of a mind of its own, but not to worry, we will sort that out. And I've left the last couple of units on both ends unpleated because we're going to use that to help us adjust the size of it. Alright, so I've done a quick rough measurement, and I know I've got enough to go all the way around, and possibly with a little bit left over. But now comes the moment of truth, the acid test. So I've run tear and tape all along my basket with free fluff, and I'm just going to rub that down and make sure that that's nice and well adhered. And I'm going to remove the tape, and I'm going to start up at this end because this is where I'm wanting my bits to meet. Okay, so I'm going to take away some of it, and I'm going to begin with the bits that are stapled down, and I'm just going to press those onto the tape and then just work my way around. Now, this is almost certainly something that you could do with older children, I'd say. So you need to have a little bit of patience, and you need to be able to trust them with a stapler. And if it flares out a bit at the bottom, that's fine. We like that. We like that effect. That will work fine for us. And the top part of it will be held under control when we put the ribbon on. Now this is where we see what we've got, whether we've got too much or too little or what have we. So I've got a little bit of excess there. So if I cut on that pleat, that one there, I can tuck that in. Actually, if I cut that bit away as well. And a little bit of tape on the reverse here. Let me bring that in. Instead of trying to do things at the far end where you can't see me. See, I get so carried away when I'm doing this. I don't know what happened there. My camera cut out on me. I must have pressed something that I didn't mean to. So anyway, I haven't missed much. So I'm just taking the backing off my adhesive and I'm just going to press that into place along the corresponding side, and there we are. So the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to run some tearing tape all around this top edge here, and again I think I'll start this one here around about the middle, and this is going to be, it's going to fulfill two functions. One is that it's going to hold the ribbon in place, and the other is that it covers up the staples and it helps hold everything where I need it to be. Bless you. Don't know whether you heard that. That was the cat sneezing. And yes, I did say bless you to the cat. Okay. So, measure off a length of the ribbon. That's about enough, and a bit extra for luck. And again, burnish this down as well as I can. And let's take the backing off of the tape. And I've been a bit generous with the ribbon, but better too much than too little. And I will put a little piece of tape. Where's my scissors gone? I'll just put a little piece there for the overlap. And again, rub that well down. Take off the backing paper. Come on. There you go. Cover that over. Get rid of the excess. And there it is. Okay, if your children are helping you with this project and they're still quite young, this might be the point at which you might say, right, give this back to mummy or daddy darling, because the next bit I have found that you really do need quite a strong adhesive, a household adhesive of some kind, the kind that's smelly, because you want your handle to stick. As I found out on stage when mine gave way, you need something that's a little bit stronger than the tearing tape that I've got here. So here is my piece of lemon lime twist, which I have cut. So it's pretty much the full length of a piece of A4, and I'm just curling it in my fingers. I've scored and going to fold at 3/8 of an inch from that side, 3/8 of an inch from that side. I've put tear and tape onto the back already, because you don't need to spend time watching me doing that. Oops, bumped the tripod there. Didn't really want to do that. Okay, so now I have a nice neat a nice neat basket, and as you can see, I've put some tear and tape on already. I'm going to partly take the backing off that and off the other end. I'm also going to apply some of my smelly adhesive. Household adhesive. Something like Beacon 3-in-1 will work great for this. I get this stuff at the pound shop. So, okay, so position that about halfway and about as far down as you want it to be, and then bring the other side over to about halfway and to where you want it to be, and shape the handle and let that sit there for a while. And I've got a couple of clips around here somewhere. Where are they? You've always got A1 when you want them. Here we are. This is my little. Okay, so I've got my. Just to hold this in place while the adhesive sets up. Now the tape will grab it a bit, but you want to give it a couple of seconds for the adhesive to dry. So I get carried away and I forget that I just need to talk to people. I know what I'm saying in my head, just forget that you can't hear me. Okay, right, so while that's carrying on, I can take the rest of that away and take my corduroy ribbon and run that along the top. And well, that other basket that I made was pretty super feminine. And one good thing about applying ribbon to tape is if it doesn't go quite in the right place, it is quite forgiving. There we go. Close that down. Okay, put that back again. Woo! So as a finishing touch and to cover up where the handle joins the basket, I've created a bow and I've made another one to go on this side. So I'm just going to apply some of my adhesive on there, pop that in. And I did this off camera because this ribbon is one-sided rather than double-sided. You do have to kind of twiddle it a bit to get the tails of the bow to go the way you want them. But you know, just twist things around and play with it until you get it the way you want it. You know, it's only a piece of ribbon at the end of the day. Okay, so that needs some time for the adhesive to set, but apart from that, that is finished. And there it is. There is the finished little basket, and I've just popped a coffee filter inside just to you know, just to stop you being able to see all the way through the bottom, because after all it is a clear panel. So that is my bright version, and let me bring back my more soft and subtle version. And yeah, which one do you prefer? I like them both, but I think this one is very zingy. So what do you think? So that is it for today. Thank you for staying with me to the end of this video, and I would love it if you came back and saw me again sometime soon. But for now, bye bye.